Okay, sorry about that. I got a little bit discombobulated, but I'm back. So this is page 7. So page 7 has got the 3 flaps. So we've got, I think I want to do it this way. This is the spine side. So these 2 flaps are going to overlay each other's spine. Yeah, okay. So the first flap, the large flap, there's a total of 3, a large, a medium, and a small. So the large flap is 5 1/8 by 8 1/2. 5 1/8 by 8 1/2. Score 1/2 inch on the 8 1/2 inch side. And we're going to apply it to the center of the pocket page toward the spine. Okay, just like so. Simple enough. Okay, now the second piece, and I'm going to use my contrast sheet. So there's our first flap is in, right? I'm going to lay this down, and then our second flap is going to be centered on the top flap, and it's going to open the opposite direction. So the hinge is going to be applied toward the right, and it's just going to be centered here. And if you've trimmed it right, this is 5 1/8 by 6 1/2. Score at 1/2 inch. You've got a 6-inch panel and an 8-inch panel, and it's just going to be centered, so you should have 1 inch on either side. Easy peasy. And you know what? I'm going to stop there for a second. So last time I installed these after I put the panel in, this time I'm going to put this in and then attach my flap, so I know that these are fully covered. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And they're not inked, so I'm going to do that real quick. So on your large flap, if you're going to, you can either have one solid piece, and if you're going to do one solid piece, you'll want to install that now. But if you want to do what I'm doing, where it's going to be color blocked, go ahead and get your 2 strips in, and then lay, and these are, each one of these strips is 1 inch, which will help you center the medium flap. Okay. All right. Okay, now this is ready to go, and it's going to be centered like so. Remember, the hinge side is to the right or to the pocket side of the page. This is going to be the side that attaches to the spine. And it works either way, just so long as you're alternating. One goes left, one goes right. I'm going to turn it sideways so I can see both edges before I press it into place. There we go. Okay, so that's done. So next, we have the last flap, which I don't have tape on, and it is actually going to get installed on top of a mat. So it's not ready to go in just yet. But go ahead and get your tape on. Okay. So we are ready, though, to go ahead and add some magnets. So we need a magnet down here on this, on the large flap. Okay. There we go, that's pressed into place. So this, actually it's not, sorry. I don't think that was quite big enough, but so these two will hold each other, and then we need one more here. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna place this one a little bit more in the center. And the reason I'm doing that is because there's going to be one more flap and I just want to use one magnet. And I'll show you what I mean. Just a second. Okay, so the there's going to be one more flap and it's this one. And I need a magnet to hold it in place. And so rather than have two more magnets, I'll just have the one. And I can put a magnet here too, or apply this magnet to the flap and not have to use a pair. Okay, so there we go. So that's in. So the next thing we want to do is, well, I guess we're going to start laying in some designer paper. So I got to fuss around a little bit and remember the order that I put things in. So this is going to go here, and I have an ephemera card that goes there. And this looks like it goes underneath. That all looks right. And then here are my other bits. Okay, so I think that we can start by laying down this. This is a 12 by 12 from the Patterns collection. So it's the larger of the two. Okay, so that is in. So now, if I recall correctly, this is what I planned for the top. So let's go ahead and get this in place. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we're ready for this flap. So this flap is going to be centered. And I'm just going to eyeball it. This is the last, or the third flap, and this is 4 5/8 by 6 1/8. You're going to score a 1/2 inch on the 4 5/8 inch side. Okay, there we go. And like I said, we're still going to need one more magnet, and this is where it's going to come into play. Okay. So we're going to place it on the top of this flap. There. Okay, so by placing the second magnet in the middle, we were able to save ourselves one magnet. Okay, so now we have, here it is. One of the ephemera journaling cards are going to go here on top, just like so. So this series of videos is a little different because I've been, like I said earlier, we've got a lot going on in the house, so I'm getting interrupted a lot. So what I decided to do when I was editing the videos is, rather than trying to edit them together, is just release one page per video. Or one feature. So there's two cases where that's not true, both for the inserts, the inside front liners, because it's exactly the same, and page 4 and 5, it's even the same pattern paper. Those are all in, those two features are in one video. Everything else is just one page per video. So there's more videos, but there's really not more time. Each video is shorter. Okay. So it's a little different. I don't know if I like it or not, but that's what I did. Okay. Now, this goes on the inside. So we have, I think I like this, the twinkle side. Yeah, okay. Turning it right side so I can see the edges here. Okay. Okay, so we still need to finish lining this and this. So I'm going to try to remember what I did. I think this was the plan, but honestly, I don't remember. I kind of like that better, so I think I might do, of course the yellow could have been what I was planning for in here. I think it was because I don't want so much of the polka dots. So I think I am going to go ahead and place this here. And I'm going to trim this down. It's a little bit too big, so bear with me, guys. Let me double check. Yeah, a little bit, not much. Let's see how that works. Maybe a little more. One more time, guys. I don't want it to get hung up in this hinge, so I'm just trying to take a little bit off at a time to get it to fit just right. This is, and I can show you from this side, this is the 8x8, so it's the smaller, tighter pattern. And the larger one would work here as well. But when I go with smaller panels, I generally try to use the smaller, so any of the inset panels, I try to use the 8x8s. And then on the large, the 8-inch pages, I use the larger scale. It's kind of a rule of thumb. It doesn't always work out that way paper planning, but that's kind of the thought process I use going into it. All right, so that's done. So we still need to do something on this side. So I'm okay with going back to the dots here and a piece of yellow. Okay. So I'm trying to decide, do I want yellow blue or blue yellow? Oh, I think I like that. Blue yellow, okay. Well, or did I already trim this down to fit? I guess I did, I already had a plan. Okay, so that looks good. I still need to trim a little off the yellow. Got a little heavy-handed there. Okay, now I need to trim my yellow piece just a little bit. Let's see how this looks. Okay, that's it. Okay, get this piece in. Okay, so we have our liners here. Still need one more piece of paper, and that must be what this was for. Yep, I did have a plan. I'm telling you, I made this so long ago before I actually started recording. It's so easy to lose track of your papers or the sequence that you're going to put your papers in, even though I thought I had them clipped down. But anyway, here we are, rounding third base, headed for home. Now usually I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, but I actually, is in terms of the design, but I actually swapped out page 6 and 7. They're reversed from what I had intended to do, so it's really up to you. I'm going to put the cut list the way I've actually built it, but you can easily reverse those 2 pages and it'll still be very beautiful. I mean, it just means one would be on the left versus the right because they do open together. I mean, they're 6 and 7 are a spread. So what I meant was 6 should have been over here and 7 design should have been over here, and I just got them reversed. So, and if you've built any of my albums, you kind of know my flow, and you can see that I've got those in different than I normally plan. But again, they still look great from across from each other. And here they are. So what I had originally thought I was doing was this. I thought this was 7 and this was 6. So I actually installed it this way. So it's really a personal preference. The way it's in the cut list is going to be the way I actually did it. But it's very easy to switch those 2 around if you so desire. So this is page 7. So the next time we get back together, we're going to be working on page 8. And then we're pretty much done with that. The last video will be the installation of the pages and working on the cover. Everybody, this is Daphne from Scrap and Create. Thanks so much for taking the time to come over here on our channel, hang out with us a little bit, and hopefully be inspired. If this is the first time you've come to our channel, just take a minute to like, subscribe, and share. We really appreciate it. Our tutorials here on this channel are free and they're intended to stay free. So share if you can, and we really appreciate it. If you're in the market for any of the paper that you see in these tutorials, of course we have a shop, www.scrapandcreate.com, and we appreciate you guys giving us a chance. Take a look. We try to stay very competitive in terms of our pricing. And again, it helps us continue to bring content here on the YouTube channel. So again, this is Daphne from Scrap and Create. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.